Congratulations, Raghu, on this lifetime award as the Tim Distinguished Scholar. Your prolific and path breaking scholarship on the process of innovation and novelty and entrepreneurship and path creation and bricolage and related topics makes this award very well deserved. I should have guessed that you would have become not only a chair of the Tim Division, but also its distinguished scholar from the first day I met you. Do you recall that? After a grueling 17-hour airplane flight from India to Minneapolis, you came directly to my office at the University of Minnesota and you said, "Hello, Professor. When and how can I start my PhD and do some research?" Well, at the time we were starting our Minnesota Innovation Research Program, I think it was 1983, and I asked you to be my research assistant and to go with me to 3M Company and to study the development of their cochlear implant program, a new to the world innovation. And in addition to you joining me for repeated interviews and site visits at 3M with various executives and managers, you also sat in on regularly scheduled meetings of the cochlear implant team, and you went on also to visit international conferences for the Otolaryngology Association, where you met the main stakeholders, other companies, the National Institute of Health, the FDA, and other stakeholders who are deeply engaged in the public and the private sector in the development of cochlear implants worldwide. Well, you know the rest of the story in the launching and the rapid ascension of your distinguished career. But I feel fortunate and proud that I have been able to be a part of it, Raghu. And I treasure our ongoing friendship in collegial collaborations. Again, congratulations, Raghu.
Dear Raghu, many congratulations with your achievement. I'm really happy to be able to offer a few reflections on our collaborative journey for the last 30 years. Our journey is embedded in your journey. We met about 30 years ago in a small island, Møn in Denmark. We had both finished longitudinal studies of innovation, and we had studied strange artifacts. I had studied wind turbines, you had studied cochlear implants like this, and we became both interested in post-it notes. We started a conversation which is still alive and kicking today. And our conversation is about the emergence of artifacts and technologies, and it took us to past creation instead of past dependency. But it also took us from intellectual conversation to a personal friendship, which means a lot to me, and I'm really happy for all what we share. Now, one may ask if one can hold the same travel partner for a conversation for such a long time. How is it possible? And well, it's not your omelette cooking skills, I would say, nor is it your advice when it comes to equipment for climbing a mountain in Sweden, but it is rather your razor sharp mind, your curiosity, and your humor. That is fantastic. Your mind grows from having new inputs from ideas, texts, and persons, and you send it back in new interesting conversations. So that's fantastic to be part of. Now I'm not sure what the next will bring, what will be the next wind turbine or the next post-it notes, but I'm sure these innovations will inspire innovations for a more sustainable world. So once again, congratulations and have a good day.
Raghu joined NYU Stern School after completing his PhD at Minnesota. I think it was in the fall of 1989. It was my third year in the PhD program. I was assigned as his RA, and we have been collaborating ever since. Over the years, I've come to appreciate Raghu's perspective that melds technological considerations with the sociological and economic. My association with him also convinced me very soon that there is deep value in taking a narrative approach to tease out processes and dynamics underlying the construction and organization of technological systems and associated innovative activity. We have different styles. I like to mull things over till they have fallen somewhat into place in my mind, whereas Raghu likes to prototype and talk through arguments on the fly. But I'm a reasonable listener and I like to argue. And right from our first meeting, he had instilled in me the expectation as well as the belief that I'm an equal collaborator. So our discussions tend to be rather animated and our arguments tend to be loud. My wife and I guess my neighbors too probably know when I'm on the phone with Raghu. For me, the most valuable aspect of our collaboration has been the frequent discussions and arguments. We will begin talking about something mundane, then he will start expounding on something pertinent that he has read. This will lead us to some other related discussion and argument, and on it will continue till we either run out of time or patience. Through these conversations, I end up learning about different perspectives and literatures with which I never would have been acquainted otherwise. Well, it's been an interesting 30 plus years collaborating with Raghu. He remains an excellent mentor, a colleague, and a friend. We probably have another 6 to 10 more good years in us, and I very much look forward to these.
Hello everyone, I'm Anne Langley from HEC Montreal. Raghu, congratulations on winning the Tim Distinguished Scholar Award at the Academy of Management this year. It's so richly deserved. I think I first got to know and appreciate Raghu at the very first symposium on process organizations in Santorini, Greece in 2004. Since then, Raghu has become deeply involved in that event, and I'm not sure he's ever missed a meeting. I have always looked forward to our conversations. Raghu is such a wonderfully creative and insightful scholar, as well as such a kind and generous person. Raghu, I don't know if you remember this photo of you and Nandita, which I took in 2006 in Bergen, Norway. It was one of those really weird, unexpected chance meetings on the top of a mountain in Norway. I have fond memories of that moment. Congratulations again, Raghu.
Good afternoon. My name is Sanjay Jain, and it is with a profound sense of joy, excitement, and gratitude that I would like to talk about my advisor, co-author, and friend, Raghu Garud. I have known Raghu for over a quarter century now, starting from my days as a doctoral student at NYU. I fondly remember those years as a time of much scholarly excitement as we explored and theorized about the beginnings of the digital economy that the internet had unleashed. Looking back at the body of scholarship that was generated as part of those intellectual voyages, when we studied such contexts as Java, Linux, and the browser wars, and Raghu developed such concepts as path creation, open systems, institutional entrepreneurship, and designing for incompleteness, I am struck by how we were living in the future, as well as the prescience and fecundity of Raghu's thought process. Interestingly, many of these ideas are also a direct reflection of Raghu's persona. He is a truly creative thinker, is open and generous with his colleagues, has been a strong champion of process-based and qualitatively oriented scholarship, and has a research program that is continually growing and evolving. Over the years, many of us look forward to our conversations with Raghu, both to catch up his colleagues as well as experience the depth of his knowledge and his often counterintuitive take on things. Thanks, Raghu, for being the academic's academic in terms of your originality, thoughtfulness, and commitment as a scholar, as well as in enabling us to get a sneak peek into the future. Being named the Tim Distinguished Scholar for 2020 is an honor well deserved and a recognition whose time has come. Thank you.
Dear Raghu, let me start by offering you my heartfelt congratulations on being named the 2020 Tim Division Distinguished Scholar. This is a huge honor of which you are very deserving. It is hard to believe, but we have known each other for more than 13 years now. During that time, I have benefited tremendously from you as a mentor, as a co-author, and as a friend. I came to know you as a PhD student at Penn State, including working with you as a research assistant, taking Management 590 with you, and finally having the privilege of being advised and mentored by you throughout my PhD program. Those were, of course, formative years for me as I learned the craft of research and publishing, and I remember well the experiences of working with you on what were my first publications, including the categorization by association paper with Peter Carnot and the complexity arrangements paper with Arun Kumaraswamy. You were also there in the audience when I made my first academic presentations at places such as AOM and EGOS. And since then, we've co-authored several articles which have been important to me as a scholar, including research on values work and sustainability journeys, to name just a few. And over the years, you've celebrated with me as I've made tenure and been promoted to full professor. More recently, I've begun advising and mentoring PhD students of my own, and here again I feel I've learned so much from you about what it means to be a PhD supervisor and advisor, and I've tried to pay these lessons forward. Recently, I had the privilege of watching my first PhD student graduate, land a job, and of helping him publish some of his dissertation research at AMJ. I've also had the opportunity over the years, Raghu, to meet so many people who are important to you, including Sumita, Nandita, and Keshav, other former students, and co-authors. This means I've seen what a generous and generative person you are, not just as a scholar, but in all areas of your life. Raghu, my heartfelt congratulations to you on being named the 2020 Tim Division Distinguished Scholar. I look forward to toasting you in person before too long. All the best.
Hi, I'm Shah Ansari from Judge Business School, University of Cambridge. It's an honor and privilege for me to speak on this auspicious occasion for Raghu Garud, known as my friend, as a co-author, as a mentor for almost 2 decades. I remember visiting him in early 2000s at NYU in Manhattan. He also visited Judge Business School, University of Cambridge, where I was a PhD student. Ever since, we've been actually trying to recruit him at Cambridge, but in vain, earlier from NYU and later at Penn State. So far, no luck, but who knows? Raghu has, of course, worked on path creation, path dependence, and you know that he's created several new paths, whether it comes in the field of institutional entrepreneurship, activity, sociology of translations, more recent work on disruptive innovations. Working with Raghu, I consider it a great privilege and my good fortune that I've had that opportunity. A paper that I get a lot of praise for is a paper on TIBO, ecosystems and disruptive innovation in SMJ. And working on that paper that went through God knows how many iterations, along with Arun, who's also our co-author, I really learned about what crafting means and what really sculpting and crafting a paper really means. I don't know how many iterations we went through, but it came to me that Raghu is like an artist who crafts and sculpts his papers like an artist would craft and sculpt his or her creations. And what comes out at the other end are masterpieces. Raghu has already created so many masterpieces, and it's been a great pleasure to have known him, and I look forward to a relationship in the coming years, and also look forward to several new masterpieces that will surely flow from Raghu's writing, his intellectual acumen, and I wish him all the luck. Fantastic. Congratulations once again.
I met Raghu as a doctoral student at the University of St. Gallen. He had just published his book Managing in Modular Age, and I was studying the development of modular systems. So needless to say, I was very excited that one of the experts in the field was visiting us for a couple of weeks. What struck me back then was that Raghu didn't take himself that important. While he had so much to offer, he was equally interested in learning from us doctoral students as we were trying to learn from him. And I think it's this healthy dose of humility that makes Raghu such a great scholar and person to work with. Raghu's humble nature is also reflected in the way he's engaging with people in the field. He's always appreciative of what we can learn from seemingly unimportant people. When doing fieldwork at CERN, for example, he's been excited about what he has learned by talking to a taxi driver. This taxi driver turned out to be a physicist and was able to give him an insider scoop. Likewise, he often points out how much we as technology innovation scholars can learn from other fields and disciplines. I think this makes Raghu a formidable boundary spanner between technology innovation, information systems, strategy and entrepreneurship, but also more distant fields like sociology of science and technology studies. But most importantly, Raghu is a great mentor and collaborator. He is sincerely committed to development of students and young colleagues, not only his own students and collaborators, but our community at large. For example, I experienced how much effort Raghu puts into writing his letters from the editor, in particular for desk rejections. I asked him why this was important to him, and he explained to me that the authors had put so much effort into their papers so that he owes them to offer his developmental feedback. This commitment, I think, makes Raghu a role model of a good scholar and mentor in our field.
Congratulations.
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 Congratulations on winning the Tim Distinguished Scholar Award at the Academy of Management this year.
Congratulations, Raghu.